Today we're going to draw our Van Gogh Starry Night inspired piece, and we're going to be adding a pumpkin and coloring with our crayons. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to start with the tree here. Now we're going to do this a little differently than what I did. So you're going to use your hand, and I would put it on the left side of the paper, okay? And you're just going to kind of, from the bottom, just trace around to kind of create a cool design. So there's my tree. And if I don't like it, I can always go back and do it again. And I'm going to put my pumpkin over here in this area. So to do our pumpkin, we're going to start with like a V shape right there. You can see that, a little V shape. And then I'm going to come around. I'm going to turn my paper if I need to. Now, mine looks a little not so perfect, right? Pumpkins aren't supposed to be all perfect. And then in this little here, I'm going to draw this part. And then, so 2 straight lines, and then curve it here. And then I want to add a little bit for the back, so it looks like there's more depth to this pumpkin. Okay, I'm going to come here, I'm going to make some curved lines, then do this one on this side, and I can do one here in the middle again. You could add more if you wanted to. Then I'm going to come back over here, just kind of shade it a little. And there's our pumpkin. And if you remember, pumpkins don't have to be perfect. They can have a little wobbles. It gives them character. So I'm just adding a little lines to add some more details for my pumpkin. Okay. So now we're going to add some wavy lines behind this to kind of make our hills. So I'm just going to start here. Just kind of go to my pumpkin and then kind of go past it. Remember, I don't want to draw a line through my pumpkin. Then it's on this side, it'll be kind of easy. I can just kind of do a line. I can kind of do another line over here if I want to, just to add some more details. So here's what you have so far. You got our tree, our hills, and our pumpkin. Now, if you wanted to add a few more things over here, like maybe a little graveyard or whatever, something you are going to be creative about, you can, or a little house. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do our, oh, I forgot something on the pumpkin. So we can add, I'm going to erase this part right here, and I'm going to add a leaf. I almost forgot that part. So draw a curved line, then another curved line, and then the details for the leaf, and those are V's, and then you can make your little, you could do those little curly things you wanted to add to it. So remember, those are the squiggle lines, and that's why it's so important that we learned about our lines. Now we're going to get to the sky here. Now, I drew my lines in the sky with my pencil, and then when I colored it, I colored over it with orange. I used orange and yellow and a little bit of white. The white didn't show up a lot, so I didn't use it. But if you color with your crayon sideways, you can borrow one of the colors that do not have the wrapper. We have a bucket that has the colors without the wrappers. We don't take the wrappers off our colors that are on our table, and then we always put them back when we're done. But if you want to use it that way to color the background lightly, you can. I didn't do that, or I used a darker color, I think. So it's up to you, but I would draw this all in first with my pencil, saying all that. So we're going to start with our little swirls first. And so it's our spiral, if you remember, our spiral. And you can make these bigger. They don't have to be small. You're just going to kind of scatter them all over in the sky. Kind of however you want to place them, kind of like that. Okay. Then we're going to add some little dashes, and we're going to make sure that they kind of go near our little swirls. So I'm just going to start over here, and I'm going to kind of start here at the end of it. And I'm just going to kind of do my dashed lines starting there. And I'm just going to go over this way. So that's what I have so far. And I can kind of come around, and I make sure I'm curving it too, because you don't want it to be straight. I'm going to turn my paper a little. I'm going to pretend like if my line would go through here, I'm not going to draw anything. And then I'm going to come connect it up to this one and then back around. So that's what I have so far. And then I can draw some without just kind of following that path. Just drawing some more. Another dashed one. And I'm going to do this in threes. I'm going to do one on top also. You can kind of go through that part too if you want to. Okay, and there's what I have so far. And I've got some space up here, so I'm going to do this again. I'm going to start here following this one. And again, it has to be curved. You don't want a straight line. That won't look right. I'm going to connect it to that one and then come back around. Okay, then I'm going to do another one. And these are just dashed lines, making them curve. And I still have some space here. So I'm going to do another line here. And you can really fill up this whole space. This whole space can be filled up. I have a little space here. And there's my finish. And then I'm just gonna color it. So this part you wanna color black. So this is gonna be black. Your pumpkin, obviously orange. And then I added some shading and I made it darker. So let's go back and kind of do this a little bit with our pencil. I'm gonna darken a little bit under my pumpkin. Let's just make some circles to kind of darken it a little bit. So make a little shadow. Just to add a little more detail to our pumpkin. So I just added a little shadow under it because the light would be coming from the sky, obviously. So it's always going to be darker at the bottom. And then when I did this here, you could do this a little bit lighter, like at the top, and then color this really dark. Okay, I hope you enjoyed creating this art piece. Now go on to coloring.